All right, so it is session 5, folks. 5 of the DIY Women-Owned Small Business Mastermind. We are supposed to be helping each other be accountable as we take what we have learned at Notary Nerds from Miss Georgette about the Woman-Owned Small Business Program certification, and we are applying that knowledge by holding each other accountable in these series of 12 sessions. And by the 12th session, somebody should be pending certification, okay? We have already looked at the front end, which most of us already had DUNS numbers, which is what you have to begin any step with government contracting, much less getting the woman-owned small business certification. So before you can get into the small business programs, which is what the woman-owned small business certification, the veteran-owned small business, all of those certifications are under small business programs. Before you can get there, you need to do DUNS number and SAM.gov and CAGE code and those 3-4 steps before you can even go over there and apply. We tried last time. I don't know if you watched one of the replays yet or not, but we tried to go to the woman-owned small business application process, and as soon as we went over there, they wanted to know what my CAGE code was, and I didn't have it. So you kind of can't put one before the other. So today I cannot wait to give my WASB testimony. I called them today, and I was supposed to have called them last week, but I finally called SAM.gov today because I got this email, and I'll share it with you. I'll share my screen. So if you guys have not yet done the SAM.gov class over at Notary Nerds, Desiree took screenshots and did everything in such a way where you can just kind of get yourself together before you sit down and apply. That way, hopefully, you don't run into this email that I got. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. IRS TIN. Okay. So as you can see, today is June the 3rd. This was back on May the 17th. They sent me this email saying, hey, your entity registration in the U.S. government system for award management, or SAM, failed the IRS validation of your taxpayer identification number and taxpayer name, also known as the IRS TIN match process. Well, today, because I knew I had this class, again, this is all for us to be accountable, right? Because I knew I had this class, I had a very busy day, and I was at the football field, and after the football field, I had to take my son to Nashville, so I wasn't able to be on the phone. So I stopped at Applebee's and got me a salad and a margarita and a brownie and some ice cream. Anyway, too much information. I stopped at Applebee's, and while waiting on my food, because I knew I was about to teach you guys, I grabbed a napkin, pulled up my phone, got my DUNS number, got my EIN, and I called this toll-free number at the bottom of the email. This number right here, 866-606-8220. And I said to them, I said, what is the issue? Because I thought, my tax return was the issue. But what the issue is how I completed my taxpayer name in SAM.gov. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. But anyway, so that's where things are, right? With me, I had applied for my SAM registration in one of the sessions. I think it was session 3. And after that, this email came. And so now today, here we are, June the 3rd, and I finally called and I got what's called an infinite number. And apparently the infinite number is the number that's like a case number. So when you call in and you speak with someone, the young lady asked me, did I want my infinite number? And I was like, okay, sure. And it's like a I dash, all these letters and numbers. And I said, well, what do I do with it? And she says, nothing really, you just keep it for your records. If you have any questions about this call, then you can reference that number. And I was like, okay, cool. But anyway, always ask for your infinite number, because I don't know if you'll ever, you never know when you're gonna need it. But my point is, this group held me accountable because I knew that I was gonna be meeting with you guys today, and I didn't have any other excuses. You can only be so busy. So now let's go around the room. and talk about what everybody has done with regard to their sam.gov registration or cage code. And if you got your cage code, tell us what you've done since you got your cage code. Who's first?
Violet.
Hey, Violet.
Hello, how's everybody?
Good. How are you?
I am well. Now I've got everything. I got my cage code, but I've been kind of stuck with when you go in there after they revamped everything.
Right.
I've been a little stuck on how to go in there and well, today I just found out how to go in there and find the entity. Now I'm
Right.
a little lost on what I need to do with the cage code. So that's what I've been working on for the past 3 days. I've been kind of stuck. So that's why I'm stuck at right now.
Okay. So I think we'll come back to that because I think there may be some other people too that are maybe in your same spot. And so we
Okay.
can probably all figure it out together. It's probably what we'll end up doing. But
Sounds
that's
good.
good. All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay. Go ahead, Tony.
I got my cage code recently, so now I'm actually gathering all of the information that's required before applying. That's what I'm currently doing now.
Oh, wow. So you got your cage code, meaning you're already active in SAM. So you didn't have any issues there. So now you're just getting ready to start applying for, you're kind of like with Miss Violet, you need to know, you're getting ready for that next step of actually applying for your Woman on Small Business certification.
Yes. So I went to the SBA, what is that beta cert, I can't, whatever that site is, I went there and it actually tells you what, like the information that, like what you actually need in order to apply. So I'm gathering that information now.
Got you.
Ahead of time. So
okay.
I don't want to go in there and then have to start and stop. I just want to try to get through it as I can.
Got you. This thing keeps sending me trying to send me a code so I can access sam.gov to get in, but my phone is not receiving it, and it's probably because of where I am in the house. So because I'll log in because they have, to Violet's point, done the changes, all of that, merging of those two systems have happened. So now it kind of even looks different. So what I'm thinking too is, even though both you and Violet, Tawny, are kind of getting ready for the Woman on Small Business, I think y'all might have made it to the place where you can actually start to apply for government contracts.
That's actually true because I've had a couple of people reach out to me and ask me if I was ready to do it, and I'm just like, no.
Okay. See. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's finish going around the room. That's really good. That's good to hear because you guys have really accomplished a whole lot. Really, I think more than what we realized. Narisa, how are things going with you? Are you there? You stepped away?
I'm here. Okay. I was trying to figure out how to unmute it. I'm trying to paint and supervise kids and all that other stuff. So I got a letter and it said it was active, but I didn't see a case code. The registration for lawsuit notary services is now active in the U.S. federal government system for our SAM. If you didn't provide a commercial or government entity cage code during the registration process, one has been assigned to you by DLA cage program.
It's actually in that email. It may start with like a 9 and a 0. It's really weird. Let me see if I could find mine because at first I didn't know.
Yeah.
But when I logged into SAM, it showed me. But it's
within that title, it should give you your what is it, your DUNS number, I think, and then it's gonna say / and then it's gonna be 5 or 6. That's your
okay,
cage
so
code.
now thank you. I was like, I still don't have a cage number, but I see it now that you said that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the same thing that happened to Violet last time when we were
right, because I was like, I don't have it. Everybody was like, yes, you do.
So 3 people. on this call have their cage codes right now?
Yes. So Narissa, how long did it take to get yours?
Um, Actually, once I put everything in, I don't even think it took a whole week for them to reply back to me
Yep,
with that
it was
email.
yep, it was pretty fast if you have all your information. Yep, it
So
was a
I've
quick
been sitting on
turnaround.
that email thinking that I don't have a cage number.
The
Yeah.
same thing I was doing. So we're learning. Next time we can let everybody know if you put in all your information, it's usually like a week turnaround.
Yeah. All right, Miss James, you up. Narissa, good job. Miss James, are you there? Okay, we'll check back in.
Hi, I'm
Oh,
here.
there she is. How are you doing with everything?
I'm good. Well, I'm new to the group, so I'm actually in the process of taking the classes and things like that. So I'm not up to speed where you guys are, but I'm working on it.
Well, welcome. Welcome. We're glad you're here. And just to recap, this is just basically us. It's not so much like the classes, the other classes. This is more like of us, a little accountability mastermind. But what's
Oh,
happening
that's
is,
awesome.
yeah, for specifically getting certified as a woman-owned small business. But what's happening is we're actually getting stuff done. Like this is making me actually move my feet. So just if you have any questions, just pop in and let me know. We'll just kind of keep it casual for tonight. But I'll show you a little bit more about what we're doing. And we are at, see, it's asking me for my code. And unfortunately, the internet is not being my friend right now. So I will just go to sam.beta.gov. Oh, it doesn't want to do that. Okay, sam.gov is where we are starting our process. Actually, it's not it. It is sam.beta. Oh no, they changed it. Is this the new site? Can y'all
Yeah.
see my screen? Let me show it. I'm making sure now. But this looks different.
Yeah, they updated it. It's new.
Federal Contractor Registry.
Mm.
See, this is a slick way. This is a private company. This is a
That's not the page,
Yeah,
Monica.
that's not it.
it's not it, but they make you think it. Look at how they're
Right.
copying all of their stuff. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just sam.gov is the new page. I just logged in. That's what it says, sam.gov.
All right, there we go. Official U.S. government website, free.
And you see they put on there now the official.
Right. So I'm gonna go in and check my but I don't want to have to keep asking me for my thing like that. That's cool, but watch. Oh, okay, cool. Violet, you're gonna get me. They still asking me for it. Ah! And unfortunately, unless I walk out of this office and walk back in, it's not going to give me the code. So can somebody log into their sam.gov? I've got less than a bar. Your screen should be shareable, but I was hoping that I could show you guys this real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. And then I'm gonna let this code come through, and then I'll be able to show you guys how I have to update what they told me to do as far as my error. I'll be right back. All right, well, hopefully it'll come through. It hasn't yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at some opportunities while I wait on that to come through. I was hoping walking out to the driveway would do it like it does normally, but one of the benefits of being out in the country. So okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of the opportunities that are out there because Tawny, Narisa, and Violet, and Toriana, let's check in with you before we start looking at opportunities. Welcome first and foremost. And we just basically went around the room and talked about where we were with our process. All of us are trying to become woman-owned small business certified. So one of the first steps in doing that is getting our DUNS number, getting our sam.gov registration, and the cage code that comes behind that. And then from there, go ahead and apply to become a woman-owned small business. So where are you kind of in that journey?
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is actually the first class that I'm taking of this. So this is okay. So this is the beginner one. So I need to go back and
No, you're welcome to stay, but yeah, this is like a mastermind. This is not even a class. Basically, this is what happened after we all went to class together. So when you get a chance, watch that video in the Woman-Owned Small Business course. It's called How to Become a Woman-Owned Small Business. This is like the lab, if you will. Like this is like
like follow up. Okay.
This is like the mastermind. This is like an accountability group that helps us all stay on target for 12 sessions. So this is session 5. And so what we're trying to do is get through this government stuff, and we'll show you how to kind of get started with that, and then going forward, applying for the certification. Well, 3 people on the call, Tawny, Narisa, and Violet, have already gone through the process. They visited this website here, sam.gov, and hopefully they'll let me in. But I'm having internet issues. But they've already done all this, and they are now recipients of what we call a CAGE code. And that CAGE code is a code that you'll need in order to go to the woman-owned small business. And that's over here. I have to Google it because I can't remember the actual URL.
So is this something that can be done in a month, or is this like a longer process? Because I see
It's something that I think Brittany, who's in the Notary Nerds group, I think she actually did it in about a week.
Oh, okay.
Now you won't get your certification that quickly, but you can get the paperwork and everything. If you just sat down and focused on it, you could get it done.
Okay.
That's just the hard part. But it's just focusing on it. But here is where, once you get all the sam.gov stuff done, here's where you come and you apply for certification for a woman-owned small business. And as you'll learn, and everybody else already knows, and as the reason that you want to become a woman-owned small business is because the government sets aside, I think Georgia said 5% of all government spending is set aside specifically for woman-owned small business programs. And so Georgette will teach in her class about the different types of industries that are, I guess, acceptable for this, because not all are. And there's a list of them. I can't remember where that list is, but if we go to the website, let's go back over to, well, I guess this is it. I'm looking actually for the NAICS codes. Let me just search for those. That will tell you which industries are acceptable for the Woman-Owned Small Business Program. Here's the list. And all I did is search for Woman-Owned Small Business Certification, NAICS, and then the SBA link with the list will pop up. So for us, it's 611, what is it, Violet? I know you remember, 611.
Is it the 611? Was it 311? Let me look. I think I wrote it down.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that says 611 311.
It's not.
That's not it.
So for those of you guys who are new, the NAICS code that we're looking for is the one that has to do with, I think it's investigative services. And there
Okay,
is
investigative services, that code is 561611.
561611. Okay, here we are. There's investigative services. So just so you guys know, this is the NAICS code that you want to become familiar with. When you begin to apply, you want to use as many NAICS codes on your application as you possibly can, because it gives you come up in more searches. When a small business specialist is looking for vendors to make aware of opportunities, they're searching by these NAICS codes. So 561611 is the investigative services one, and that's where your fingerprinting falls. So if you're ever considering adding fingerprinting to your notary business, that's where you want to make sure you put that NAICS code in on your woman-owned small business certification application. And then there's another one that's notary services or offices of notaries, and
that number is 541120.
There we go, 541120. All right, here we are. Okay. Wait a minute. 541120.
It says Office of Notaries.
Okay. Well, that one in particular is not listed on the WASB, and that's our nickname for woman-owned small business.
Okay.
But we do see 541199
for legal services.
Mm-hmm. So as notaries applying for woman-owned small business certifications, we need to use 541199 and the other one, whatever that was. Okay, 561611. All right, now if you have other businesses and you apply for those other businesses, keep in mind there's all types of industries that are available here. For me, I have 2 other businesses. I'm going to go and apply on my real estate business for these 2 right here, and I might even go under 236210 or 236220. I might get out there and start building some stuff under my real estate. I would do those NAICS codes. Under my farming, I would come down here under that business and do, there's some canning and some other things I saw down here. So just keep in mind that this list is not, limited to just the notaries. If you have other businesses, you want to go ahead and get in the position where you're applying for government contracts for whatever businesses that you're involved in. Okay, so that kind of gives you a synopsis of kind of where we are and what's going on. No code as of yet, so I doubt it'll come through. So tonight, what we're going to do, instead of looking at me update, is, and when I say update, for those of you guys who joined just now, I applied for my SAM registration about 2 weeks ago. They sent me an email saying that my address my ITIN, TIN did not match. And what that means is the name of my business on sam.gov did not match what they said the name of my business was on the tax return. So when it said taxpayer ID, which I wish I could show you, and unfortunately I can't, it said taxpayer ID, or taxpayer name, I thought they wanted my name. But that's not the case. They wanted the name of the business. So initially, when I was doing this sam.gov, you'll see that replay where I'm going through it step by step. So definitely watch that. You'll hear us talk about how I went to my tax return and noticed that my tax preparer did not use the same name as whatever on my DUNS. And so I thought that was, the address was different. I thought that was going to be the issue, but turns out it was the name. But I did update the address just to be on the safe side, or I will. But tonight, since we've got 3 people who are already actually ready to apply for government contracts, we're just going to search to see what opportunities are out there. And that's what they're called. They're called opportunities. So I think it's sam.gov for everything, right? If you ever can't remember which website to go to, always go to a .gov beta.sam.gov is the one you search for. And the other one is the one that you actually, oh, they're all the same. All
I
right.
was gonna say they're all the same now. There's only
Okay,
sam.gov, no more beta.
got you. Okay. So here we go. Here we are. And we had 5. Go back over here. Did I shut that one down? I must have. So Violet, I'm gonna need you to be my helper as far as that NAICS code again.
Okay.
Now, could you give me the Office of Investigative Services?
It is 561-611, and I put it in the chat also.
Oh, thank you. Okay, here we are. All right, so in investigative services, we would have to be kind of careful because that includes a large amount of different types of stuff. What we're looking for are fingerprinting opportunities. And you can tell, usually it'll say right there in the title of it. Let me just click on one just to get a closer look. Oh, Lord, $6 million. I mean, come on, child.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying right there.
One government contract, y'all. This is why we have to keep each other moving forward, because one government contract could really change everything for all of us. Okay, so investigative services, there we go. Live scan fingerprinting solicitation. So this was due on yesterday. I think this may have been one that we saw already.
I think that's the one we saw last time with the young lady that already have the machine.
Yes, it is. This is the one we saw. But just to give you guys an idea that haven't seen this before, this is what we call an opportunity, a contract opportunity. And the Social Security Administration is the government agency that's issuing this opportunity. And they'll give you the details down here. Let's view on changes to see if there's, okay, there were some changes made on May the 18th. So it updated on May the 24th, original updated offers due on June the 2nd. So that was yesterday. All right. Updated inactive date, July the 2nd. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that they found somebody or they didn't find somebody or what. But what you would want to do is you would want to search for opportunities like this, and then you would want to reach out to the primary point of contact, and they'll give you their name and their email and their telephone number. And the easiest thing to do at the beginning, since we're all new, is just to call and ask them, hey, I'm interested. What do I need to do? Maybe follow up with an email. But let's look a little bit more into this particular opportunity. So request for quote for live scan fingerprinting services, amendment to answer questions. All right. It really is interesting to me, kind of this whole process, because when Georgette was teaching us about government contracts, she did explain that if they don't get anybody to meet the needs of the contract, they'll sometimes, you know, redistribute it in a way or look at it, you know, try to fill it in another way. And so the process can kind of go on a little bit. So it would be interesting if one of us were to call him or email him and say, hey, is this opportunity still open? I saw that it expired, but it does look like there's still maybe something happening with it. Could you give me some more information? So anybody up to being that person? Let me see.
Say that again.
Is anybody up to like being the person just to reach out to Mr. Abel? Mr. Alfonso, just to see where things are with this particular opportunity?
I will do it. I mean, I can't do it. All I can do is find out the information.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. And I'll pull it up in sam.gov and I'll reach out and we'll see what I come up with.
That sounds good. Because, you know, you never know. I mean, it's just for information purposes.
Exactly, if nothing else.
Right. All right, let's go in here and let's look at the other NAICS code for Office of Notaries this time. So let's go back. Let's just kind of scroll down one more time. That was, oh, wait a minute. There's another one, fingerprinting services. This one looks like it may have been an older one from 2019. And this was from the Department of Homeland Security. And it looks like questions and responses were submitted in 2019. So let's just open these and be nosy.
Might as well, we're looking at it.
Right. It says access public, so, and maybe this can give us some insight as far as an upcoming opportunity is concerned. Excel takes forever to open on my screen, so y'all just have to bear with me. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what is all going on here. Let's put it on the big screen. Hello, there's nothing on here. Okay.
Am I the only one don't say anything?
There's nothing on this spreadsheet. There's labels, company reference, question, response, but there's no data. So let's go
try another one.
Let's go back over to the site. And let's go down to the next one. All right, let's see. This is a document, not a spreadsheet. Let's see what they're talking about. This is the request for quote, I think. We'll see. It takes forever. But my point is, Tawny, Violet, and Nerissa, y'all do not have to wait to get your certification to apply for government contracts.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
For what was that website that you was at for us to continue with our certification?
SBA.gov. SBA. It was an SBA.gov website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the woman-owned small business section. Yeah. I always end up Googling it because I can't ever remember the actual URL. But you guys, when you like, I just got caught up on one site that looked official. Make sure it's a .gov before you start registering and signing up and things like that. But once this opens, we'll kind of get it, hopefully, an insight as far as what they were including on this request for quote. Because fingerprinting is what Georgette is seeing more of than the notary. There are some notary contracts, but she says she's seeing more, at least on the federal level.
And I do have a question. How much experience would you have to have as a fingerprint technician for that? I will wonder also. If we're just starting out, would they need a year, 6 months? What? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but that's why it's going to be interesting to see what this says. If we hopefully have some data.
If it open up.
Right. And then if it opens up, if it's got data on it, because that spreadsheet before didn't even have anything. But what I think, based on what Dan taught in his class, is that they don't regulate the fingerprinters. So I don't.
Right. I do remember that class. And I was like, well, if they don't regulate, you really don't need any experience. But with it being federal, I was just wondering if they had any, particular.
Now, I will say this. Georgette has taught us that what they do at the government level is they examine the business to see if they have the capability to be able to perform the contract. So in that examination, they're going to look at you and see how long have you been doing this. So from that point of view, they might come into play, like you say.
Okay. Right.
So we'll see. But to me, what's the important thing to remember is that when you're starting to pursue these government contracts, like, we have to think in terms that we have a network. You guys have to look at the Notary Nerds network as your network. And even if, the contract calls for something that you don't think you can take care of, you need to say, I can do it anyway, because you've got a network. Right. Whip together. Come on, Word.
So I'm trying to get to where you did that on the search, and mine isn't doing it. Oh, it's just taking. I guess their website is slow because I hit it a
Maybe,
little while ago and it just popped up with some result.
maybe it's probably slow. Let's see here. And I'm still just sitting here patiently waiting. So while it's doing that, I got to keep on moving because I want to see what, if any, opportunities are available for notaries. And that was the 56199.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute.
For notary, Office of Notaries.
Yes.
Oh, the one for Office of Notaries was 541120. Let me put that one in the chat. I don't think I did that one.
Oh, my bad. I made it all wrong. So let's go back to the first screen, contract opportunities. Okay. So it doesn't look, and Georgette had mentioned that it didn't look like there was going to be as many opportunities for notaries as far as we looked at them versus those opportunities versus fingerprinting. So let's see here, chat, make sure I entered it correctly. Yeah, 541120. So let's do something else. Let's look at you as the notary, not only doing this for yourself, but always consider this as an opportunity for you to be of service to a small business in your community. So once you've done this for yourself, now you can actually do it for others. And I don't know if you guys have called around, but I did. I called a company or two to see if they could help me do all of this woman-owned small business certification stuff for me. And the company I called said, yeah, we can handle it. We could also do your SAM registration for you. Guess how much they were going to charge me just to do what several people on this call have already done? Guess how much?
$800.
800. Anybody else? That was high, but it was still a lot.
3,000.
Girl, no, my goodness. 8,000.
Not that high. Okay. 'Cause I know
No,
somebody
8,000.
was charging
I say
3,000 for
500.
something somewhere.
Now, okay, so I will say this, Toriana, it was like several thousand to do everything, but the part I'm talking about is just going to sam.gov and just registering yourself as a business. It's basically about,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like 12 screens of input and
Yes.
information.
If you sit down, it'll take you an hour.
It'll take you about an hour, right? Anyway, they were going to not only do that for me, but then they were going to do all the other stuff. But just for that part, it was going to be $395. So
$400.
$400 for an hour
Right.
of work that I could do for myself.
Exactly.
So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because, one, you guys go and Google yourself and find a company, call them up and get clarification on what they're charging in your area. But you need to know that because you know how to do this. And so you can use this. I don't know if you guys remember, we talked about the value ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can make this your third step on your value ladder. One of the things on your third step, meaning a different service besides the general notary work that's on step one, besides the loan signings that are on step two, right? Step three needs to have something that you're doing that gives the customer more value than the last step did. So that would be something like, helping them with this service, helping them apply for their SAM registration. And I think it just opened. So let's go see. All right, where did it go? It opened my Word, but I don't want to create. I just want you to open the document. All righty, let's go back. Oh, poo. So let's go back to the investigative services one, which is 5461611. All right, let's go back to fingerprinting services, which was down here. And we did this document. And there it is. Come on, it's open now. You shouldn't be taking forever. All right. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Customs and Border Protection required documents for Office of Human Resources Management, electronic fingerprint collection. Ooh, Lord, we done stumbled on something right here, y'all. This is a government agency telling you exactly what needs to happen in order to accept fingerprints.
Okay.
So this is great because as
Good
somebody
information.
who may be doing a live scan service, you know, this is your back door to be able to see what they require.
Right. Your requirements pages.
Here's fingerprint facility requirement. Any firm or business under contract with CBP that requires access to classified information must possess a facility security clearance commensurate with the level of access required. This includes any firm or business entity that requires access to classified information to prepare a response to a request for proposal or a request to da 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 da. All right, so that's that. Let's looking here. Scheduling. The contractor shall provide a standard script of language for use in the scheduling process to the COR within 15 days of contract award. Excuse me. The script shall be approved by the COR prior to use. The contractor shall provide scheduling access to a web-based, so it's telling you, you got to have an online web-based system, which is probably why PrintScan does that package where they offer you the website and the machine, because they probably know that the website is something that you're gonna need in order to
you're gonna need, right.
Right. The contractor shall be notified by CBP on a daily basis via vendor provided web-based portal regarding the fingerprint request to be scheduled. The following data will be provided: employee, contract and candidate name, contact information, identification numbers, ID, position. So they're telling you every single step. That's one thing about the government.
They put it out step by step. You can't go wrong. All you got to do is read it.
Now, granted, there are several steps, as we can see here.
Right.
But if I was going to operate a live scan, I would just take this, even though all government agencies are going to differ, right? Correct. I would take this 14-page document. It's telling you how they want you to invoice them.
Mm-hmm. I would take that and read that step for step.
Exactly.
And follow it accordingly.
And just follow it accordingly. And even though this may not be the agency, okay, this is Department of Homeland Security. We saw Social Security Administration. Mm-hmm. They would have their own thing, but I bet you a lot of it is going to overlap because it's the federal government, right? So, having a document like this, that's that would become a part of my operating manual. I would just take this and convert it into my procedural manual for my live scan business. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm glad that did finally open up because that was a lot of information. So what does that teach us? That teaches us that we need to, from time to time, go into the NAICS codes that we're interested in, pull up those announcements or those opportunities to see what has happened, scroll down, be nosy, okay? Be nosy about whatever's, look at that number.
All righty then.
Okay, what are we looking at here?
I just want to say, what are we looking at? Is that the Excel?
Yeah, this is the fingerprint price submission. There were going to be 37,000 fingerprints. Apparently, 37,500 fingerprints. And I guess there was going to be a price associated with those. But so that was just the quantity. So they didn't give us any price information. Let's see if we can go continue to be nosy real quick and see what else we might stumble across.
Good things happen when you research.
That's right. Okay, so here is some additional clauses. Pricing provisions for task order or blanket purchase agreement. Okay. More information to read and become familiar with. Apparently, if you're going to deal with the government, you're going to have to be okay with reading. I would probably start a little folder or something like that with all of my NAICS codes. I'd have a binder. I can tell you that I'm going to get a binder. And so for my, this is what, 561, whatever, I would have a tab for this. And I would kind of print things off that I found in my research. For that one. Do the same for all of the different ones. So very, very interesting. So my point is we got 3 ladies on this call who can do this. Like if they found something could actually go
reach
after
out to that person. Who is this? Abel Alfonso?
Yes, the one that was for the live scan.
Right.
So let's go in here and look real quick.
Okay.
I want to find a NAICS code for just out of kicks and giggles. I just while I'm on the call, I want to hop off of notary, hop off of fingerprinting, and look at real estate.
Something else. Okay.
Real quick.
And there's a young lady I'm gonna message you, Monica. A young lady just texted me on Instagram and says she think that you're her cousin. She needs a realtor.
What?
Her name is Tanisha Ray.
She thinks that she's my cousin.
That's what she just said.
Wow. Okay.
She said she needs a realtor lender, and I told her, I said, I'm at Notary Nerds University, and I said, I can give you her name. Her name is Miss Monica. She said, Monica? I said, yes. She said, I think that is my cousin.
Wow. We might be. You never know. I know I did ancestry.com and I've run into a lot of people that way. It's third cousins, fourth cousins. And so you never know.
I told her, give me I sent her your email and she's going to give me her email. I'm going to forward it to you.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So y'all, when I say NAICS codes, when you want to search for them in a general term, you just come over here and I'm going to put a keyword in real estate because I can't remember what exactly those NAICS codes are. Oh, okay. It's moved.
Oh, to census.gov NAICS codes.
Yeah. So I'm going to say real estate and see what happens. Okay. So real estate. Oh, even better. I'm going to search for the code that I already know is acceptable for what? Woman-owned small business. Because when I do the real estate, I want to compete. I don't want to compete because when you're woman-owned small business certified, you don't have to compete because remember, you compete against other women, but the government sets that 5% aside for just women. So the competition is still there, but it's not as significant as all the real estate or all the notaries or all the investigative services. Just the women who are designated as such in the government SAM system, which we know not everybody's
exactly doing. Right.
So let me just kind of get those NAICS codes real quick. New single family housing construction 236115. Come over here, 236115, search. Get an understanding of what this looks like. Okay. This is me. This is my next phase. This is what I'd like to do. This is why I'm working really, really hard at Notary Nerds to make it grow and do what I need to do so that I can buy land and develop it into affordable agricultural communities. So this is my next SAM.gov registration. I actually started on it last year and need to get it updated. But you guys,
I'm gonna have to do yours, Monica.
You probably are. because I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna need some help with that. Matter of fact, I'll pay you to do it, Violet.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do that for you, Monica.
Okay, I appreciate it. We'll get with you on that tomorrow, so we can get that moved. But this is what you want to do, guys. You want to go and explore the certifications, NAICS codes that are acceptable, right? And that's for the woman-owned small business, because you want to be in that pool. But then also remember, if you've got your cage code, you need to be kind of hopping around in sam.gov and searching and seeing what's going on, just to keep up to date on stuff and know what's happening. Are there any questions?
No, I've enjoyed all the information we got tonight, and my homework is to contact Abel Alfonso.
Yes, and then I'm gonna email you on getting me set up for People First Realty too. So
Okay.
we'll do it that way.
And I email you this young lady that said you may be her cousin. I forward you that information too. She's sending it to me now.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Anybody else have anything before we go?
Are you guys doing the minority owned business as well for some, like, is that gonna present more opportunities too, or not really?
That is-
Or is the women owned one enough, or?
No, you actually brought up a really good point, Toriana, that the local, so what we've been focusing on talking about is the federal level certifications, right? Well, what you're talking about is a state level certification. And those are, and there's also local, actually, you know what? There is a federal disadvantaged business enterprise, DBE. But when you bring that up, it makes me want to remind all of us that what Toriana just talked about, there is a federal version of that. But there's also state and local versions of these certification programs as well. And with the state and local programs, what you'll find is that private businesses seek to do business with people with those certifications. So even though we are going after federal government money with the woman-owned small business certification and the sam.gov, all of that's still good. But again, Toriana brought up a good point. There are disadvantaged or minority designations, certifications that exists also at the federal and the state and the local city level. So it's going to be up to you guys and us and all of us to do that research and figure out how to plug in. But I figured we would focus on this one first and then kind of get all the way through it. And then, but at the same time, if we've got time on our hands, we probably should be working some of these simultaneously at the state level and the city level while we're doing this woman.
I was trying to figure out how you do the state level, because I was thinking about that too. I was like, well, if I'm doing this, well, what about state? I stay in the state of Mississippi.
Exactly, because it seems to me that they may all be the same paperwork or the same information. But minority business certification. Okay, so I think this is going into the 8A. So as far as the federal level, when you start talking about the minority business certification, I think you may have to have that 2 years of.
Right, that's that thing that the other lady was saying that they may waive the 2 year.
Let's do a quick call. This is the company that I call to get woman-owned small business certified. Federal Award Management Registration. Watch what they say when they tell you how much SAM is going to cost. Hold on just a second. Goodness. And then this will be it. And then if we have any, we'll talk about this and then we'll
call it a wrap.
Call it a wrap.
Thank you for calling Federal Award Management Registration. All calls will be recorded for quality and training purposes. Please press 1 to be connected with an advisor now. Thank you for calling Federal Award Management Registration. All calls will be recorded for quality and training purposes. Please press 1 to be connected with an advisor now. Thank you for calling Federal Award Management Registration. All calls will be recorded for quality and training purposes. Please press 1 to be connected with an advisor now.
Okay,
They must don't want to connect you.
maybe not. Okay, so let's see if they're there in the chat.
I'm gonna call that number tomorrow.
Yeah, but everybody should. Let's see here. Yes.
Yeah, put that number in chat for me so I can save the chat, please.
Okay.
That way I ain't gotta look for the website. Thank you, ma'am.
It's a little bot. What's my last name?
I was sitting there, Monica, you'd have forgot your last day. I know it's time for you to relax.
No, I'm talking about I'm making up a last name. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see my
gotcha.
chat.
And I
was
can't
wanting-
see it.
Yeah, I was wanting y'all to give me a last name. That's what that was about.
Oh, okay.
They're asking for too much information, so we'll just
Yeah.
let Violet call tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
call.
yeah, do the research. Let me put that in the chat real quick. Their telephone number, Violet. Hold on just
Okay.
a second. 833 289 4900. And this is Federal Award Management Registration. So I'll give everybody a chance to save that number in the chat and let's have people call. And even if you can find another company, you know, rest assured they will help you with the SAM, but they're going to charge. And for those of you guys who have completed it yourselves, excuse me, consider it as a service that you could provide maybe to a small group of people first as you perfect it, work out the kinks, and just put it out there and see what happens. Maybe you want to start out, you know, maybe 100, 150 bucks to help
See
people
how
with
it
that
goes. Mhm.
and see how it goes from there. So any questions?
Monica, this is Desiree. So when I reached out to PTAC, the procurement, I forget what the rest of the acronym stands for.
Right.
And associated with the Small Business Administration Development Center in each state, they encouraged me if I was to register in SAM to also, like you were saying, simultaneously register with the state and the local government entities while I was doing my SAM registration. And so the only site that they gave me for the state is called Edison. It might be called something different in other states. And I didn't know if we had information on other places we can also register with.
Okay, so that's really good information. So when they handed out information, there was only one source for Tennessee, and that was Edison and that makes sense because Edison is how, when I work for the state, that's the system that they use to pay us and administer everything. So I bet you that's probably the place where all this, you know, certification stuff happens too. Let me pull my screen back up. So let's, before we go there, I wanted to show you another site that Desiree mentioned. I thought I clicked on the link from my email, but it's PTAC. And if you do need somebody to help you with this process, you can actually, it's a free service that they provide. But the only challenge is they are, here's the website, I'll put it in the chat. They are only open during business hours, which is normal, okay? The challenge for entrepreneurs is a lot of times they're not available during business hours to go to PTAC. You know, it's one of those things where you kind of have to call them. I think even now in COVID, right, Desiree?
Yeah, and they're really busy because in the state of Tennessee, they have 3 centers and they break it up by region. So they are responsible for each of their regions. So sometimes it's a little difficult getting in touch with them.
Okay.
But, you just have to keep trying to contact them and, until you can get some, or you may have to, communicate by email. But yeah, each state has a PTAC center, but it's, you have to find out who that center is. And I think you can probably go to the Small Business Administration website.
Probably so. And then here's the website, the link that came in my email from Sam when I messed up and they told me about my ITIN mismatch. They provided me in this email. If you guys will read their emails and whatnot, they give you all the links and numbers you'll need. Like I said, I called that 866 number today and got what's called an infinite number. I took that number down. This is also the link to PTAC, which is what Desiree is just telling us about as far as a resource. So I clicked on that link and here's this site. I'll put my state in and it told me where our procurement counselors and centers are. And here are the contact information. Here's the contact information for these different people. Desiree brought up another good point and I want to drive it home because of what we're about to do with government contracting as far as offering it as a service. You can't get them easily. Yes, it's free. Yes, you don't have to pay people to help you do this. But just like Desiree said, you're gonna have to be a little persistent in trying to get help. Most small business owners are not gonna be that persistent. They are going to appreciate a business providing this service for them for an affordable amount. It's not that they can't get it for free. It's that it's too cumbersome. If they're an entrepreneur already and they've got a business and they got payroll and they got all these things, they're not gonna have time to bird dog russell.tune at tennessee.edu. Okay.
Exactly.
So while we are learning how to use these things for ourselves, understand that you have the ability to create a new business model that incorporates doing this for small businesses. But the small businesses that you need to target, as we discussed in marketing to attorneys and marketing to title companies, really is the attorney. So when you're marketing, not necessarily for this you can market to anybody. The notary stuff you want to market to attorneys. With this, you can market to truck drivers, farmers, any industry that typically would have, government contracts available, or even on the federal or the state level. If you help people get registered to do these things, and that takes that off of their plate, now they still have to go apply, but you can get them up to that part for $350 or for however much. You see,
Exactly.
because they need a business plan and they need a capability statement. And Georgette is as we speak, putting together a certification for government contracting. So that will include all of the stuff that we already have been taught. It'll just drill down on your knowledge of it. Do you know it? Do you have it? And then it'll give that notary a stamp of approval of, hey, I learned this, because Georgette's name is going to be in her title at the SBA for the last 10 years. I think she was small business specialist. It's going to be on that certificate. So yeah, it's just an opportunity, because this PTAC is great. But again, like Desiree said, getting them is probably not necessarily going to be as easy for most small businesses. And real quick, we're going to go to Edison. And that's the state of Tennessee. That's the place that PTAC gave Desiree as a resource for local certifications at the state level. Oh, no. It may be that we do that on another day.
So I'm gonna look into mines this week and see what I can come up with. So by the time my next meeting, I have a little more information from my state.
Right. So here at the state of Tennessee's website, it didn't take me to Edison, but it did take me to the Governor's Office of Diversity Business Enterprise, and it tells me about the current opportunities. So here's some invitations to bid. Let's just take a quick look. somebody needs repairs over at Reelfoot Lake, duck blinds, fish, courtesy dock, amphibious excavator, nothing that's in my wheelhouse. Riot gear, what?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Rabies tags. Interesting. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different little things. So just go to your state's website and just be nosy. Infant sleep snacks. See, the entrepreneur in me knows of a website called Alibaba. And as I was looking into doing some drop shipping back in the day, if I were able to go and find some wholesale infant sleep sacks, okay, and I could
That'd
get
be
in
right
line
up your
for that.
alley then.
You see, so these are the
Mhm.
things that you need to do. You need to kind of go around and look and see what your state's opportunities are. And here in Tennessee, as you can see, a lot of agricultural and that type of thing. Janitorial services, okay, body armor, rifle. Welcome to Tennessee, folks. There we go, siding and windows. But there's that, and then let's see here. Surplus real estate. But anyway, I'm getting off topic, and I got a real estate bug in me, so let me get back. Are there any questions or anything before we go?
No, ma'am, I've saved the chat and it's been very informative. So I will call Mr. Abel Alfonso and see what information, what email, and see what I can find out.
Awesome. And then I will get with you on the sam.gov, and maybe even if you could do a Zoom with Roxana and train her on how to do it, that would be really good.
All righty. Yeah, tomorrow I got a meeting from 8 to 11, so probably about anything after 2.
After 2? Okay, and
Yeah.
if we can't do it tomorrow, we'll figure it out and we'll get
Okay,
together
sounds good.
and everything. All right, everyone. You guys have a great evening.
All right, everybody have a good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.